All right, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Sean here with BlueRidgeSilverhound. Thank you for taking some time out of your day to come visit the Monday Market Report. It's everybody's favorite graded coin market video that I do every Sunday or Monday, really depending on how I feel. But today, man, I'm feeling really good. We have another stacked lineup of coins, all coming from great collections. Of course, they are continuously hammering out some of the greatest specimens of some of the coins that you're going to see on here today. Which, by the way, if this is your first time, yeah, welcome, first and foremost, and second of all, this is the video where we talk about post-1900 modern era coins. These are all coins that normally a lot of folks would easily identify with because you probably had seen them before, but it also gives a little inside track on how the market is doing today. We are in the month of March, already a quarter of the way through the year. It's kind of hard to believe just how quickly things are moving, and not only the world, as turbulent as that may seem, but in this little thing called the numismatics market, we're seeing just incredible strides every single week in both coins and currency. In this video, of course, it's all coins, but I may even throw in a Monday market report for paper money as well, so you guys can see what that looks like from that particular perspective, which, by the way, has been explosive. And I would say the currency market has been slightly outperforming its coin brethren in all this. So I would love to hear your thoughts. Do you want me to do a paper money version of the Monday market report from this point forward? It seems like a little bit of information overload, but it's to give us a kind of a wide swath, a really nice breadth of bits and pieces of the market that maybe otherwise you're not aware of. So I want to thank you guys again for joining in. Let's go ahead and dive right in. Again, Great Collections is your choice for buying some premium quality coins and currency if you're looking for that, but also they're a great spot to consign your high-end coins and currency with. They could get your listings as quickly get them up as quickly as, I believe, 14 days. And they can also schedule your listing out maybe a month or two. So that's definitely something to consider. Other than eBay as a more premium source, and they got the advertising and backing to help assist you in any which way possible. All right, let's go ahead and jump in and see what we had sold this past week. Starting with a coin that I'm sure a lot of us had seen at one point or another. It's not a terribly rare coin, but in this particular grade state, they certainly are. So normally with the Monday market report, it's kind of lumped into two categories. You guys have heard me refer to registry sets. Okay, this is a compilation of high-end coins that all go together in a registry. It's an online-based system through Pcgs or NGC Collector Society, and the big idea is you're assembling the finest pieces possible, stacking up the points, and then winning a good old attaboy at the end of the day. It's nothing that, as of right now, provides huge cash prizes from either company, but it's a competitive kind of landscape for a lot of collectors, other than just collecting your favorite coins. Adding the registry set adds a whole new element to it. So this is one of the markets. The other is, of course, the collectibles / investable market. Buying a coin to add to your collection certainly fits into this mold. And oftentimes you're going to find that a lot of the key dates, the more earlier obsolete type coins, will fit in that investable category by itself. So the 1960 Lincoln Memorial cent right here is what I would consider to be your prototypical registry set inclusion. Now, it's an extremely high grade coin. Finding a 1960 anything in a proof set with deep cameo contrast and these frosty devices are quite a challenge. I would say more than 95% of the coins that come out of these proof sets during the 50s and 60s have virtually no cameo frost whatsoever, and that's why they're so coveted. This one right here is a PCGS Proof 69 Red. As you can see, it says DCAM, which stands for Deep Cameo, and this is also the large date, which is going to be your more common, date design type. It's going to have that longer tail on the 6. That's kind of like one of the marquee diagnostics of a large date. But yeah, this is a good one right here that ended up selling for $2,133. Again, there is this completely different just market potential going through proof sets that for a number of years were generally overlooked and ignored. Now's a really good time to untap some older stock that maybe hasn't been searched through for coins that look like this. All right, and then we're going to continue on with some more registry set premium examples. Now, this one right here, ladies and gentlemen, looks like just a standard garden variety mint state 1954 Lincoln. But what if I told you it's one of the rarest dates to find a grade of a 67? You guys will probably be shaking your head, and you're going to be shaking your head even more once I reveal the hammer price on this particular coin. But again, it's got registry set written all over it. It's a top pop grade, mid-state 67, full red. It's a generally problem-free coin with a few minor nicks and ticks. There's no carbon spotting, which is nice, and the fields remain relatively clean. It's incredibly tough to locate in grades above mid-state 65, where generally you're going to find a lot of problems on these. This one sold for $8,499.38. Again, just a mind-boggling amount of money for what is considered to a lot of people a rather pedestrian date of coin, where you would think, yeah, there's quite a few of these BU rolls out there, but there just isn't. There's not really a whole lot of untapped, untouched mint-state 1954s. And you could say the same for any other Philadelphia minted early 50s Lincoln Wheat set from 50, 51, 2, and 3, and then 54 is what I would say is the top toughest date of this group. Now, San Francisco minted coins during this era are generally very well struck. So you're going to see a huge price discrepancy between the previous coin and this one, which some will look at this and say, well, this coin looks a lot better. Well, it does, because it's a 67 plus full red and it's CAC certified. So you have a lot of things stacked on top of each other. But what if I told you this is actually a grade that you can have a better time looking for? It's a little bit more accessible if you're putting together a registry set, and they do pop up more frequently on the auction circuit. This is that coin right here. This one, as kind of a huge contrast, sold for $1,321.88. Again, proving once again that Denver and San Francisco minted mid-40s, like 1944, all the way up to 1958, the last year of the wheat set design, are all quite available in these high grades. Now, things begin to get a little bit difficult, and then there's a certain fine line, kind of like that line drawn in the sand, of whether or not it's a registry set coin or more so something that can be collectible or investable. 1933D is not a date that we talk about on a lot of shows like this. But this one right here, ladies and gentlemen, is a 67 plus red through NGC. In addition, it is also a CAC backed coin as well. So it's kind of double certified. You have CAC that had taken a look at the overall technical grade, compared it to the coin in the slab, and have given their kind of like green light for it. And that's why there's a CAC sticker on there. So in this particular case, again, you could make the argument that this is like a 50-50 split of a registry set coin, or something or a coin that a collector would obtain for maybe a typeset, like a graded typeset, or even something that's investable. Because the pops generally are pretty low, and one that grades at a plus level 67, quite scarce. This one ended up hammering for $5,044.02. Now, here's just one of your key dates, and a very good market acceptable example at that. All right, this is a 1914 D Lincoln Wheatie. Of course, this Wheatie is always on the list of every Lincoln Cent collector. Lincoln Cents, as you guys know, I would say is probably the number one type coin that people collect. They kind of like start start their collecting in this particular series, because not only of its depth, it's been around for over 100 years, but a lot of coins are very obtainable in nice shape for a fairly cheap price. But the big stoppers of the series, your 09S, both the standard and the VDB versions, your 14Ds like you see here, 22 plain, 31S, among, some of the more scarce 19 teens mint mark coins in much nicer shape, are all pretty nice key dates to be aware of. Now, this one right here, if you're not looking to pay, a second mortgage on your home, so you could obtain a mint state example, how about this AU55 through Pcgs? I think this one has a lot of character. It's got a lot of meat on the bones. It's got a lot of detail, very little wear. And it's a really nice solid brown, which I kind of like. I like a really solid brown coin. I think these certainly edge out coins that show even maybe a little bit of red mint luster into protected areas. This one right here ended up selling for a what I consider a bargain for the date at $1,968.75. And the final 1 cent coin of the group is going to be one of those really tough coins. I would say in mint state condition, this is undoubtedly a rarity. It's a key date. This one right here is one of those. As a 1912S is not an easy coin to find in mint state condition. Now, you're going to have to, pick your battles with this coin. Are you going to go for a 5-figure full red example, or are you going to settle for a red brown? Now, keep in mind, it is a 66, so that's a gauntlet of a grade by itself before you get into color designation. So this one right here is a great coin to own if you are either just looking for a type coin, one to add to your collection as a centerpiece, or if you're looking to kind of bolster that registry set. This one kind of checkmarks all the boxes. And this one did sell for $1,760.62, which I think is a really good, fair price on these. But I don't anticipate it seeing this cheap for that much longer. All right, now we're on to nickels, starting out with a 1982p. Of course, 1982 coins this week had a few notable coins, and that was kind of our main subject line for the video. So what's going on with this one? It is a much tougher date to find with a full strike designation. Oftentimes, you're going to come across these early 80s nickels with either just really nicked up planchets, a lot of these planchet nicks that you normally find on these dates of coins. Hard to believe that you would find that as a main problem on the 1980 to 83 dated Jeffersons, but they are a thing. So if you have access to mint state BU rolls out there of any of these dates, whether they're Philadelphia or Denver, they are worth a second look. Now, I'm not going to tell you to go ahead and grade these things because, grading ultra moderns like this are quite the gamble. All right. And oftentimes, if you don't know what you're looking at, you're going to lose out pretty big. This one right here, Mid-State 66 with full steps, believe it or not, is a premium quality date and grade that people want in a registry set. And you wouldn't dare invest in a coin like this if you just had an extra few $1,000s to spend. This one right here sold for $1,693.12. And again, I would say the same for a lot of these mid to late 1950s nickels, especially the Philadelphias. They're all quite tough to find with a full strike. This one, another full steps coin at a mid-state 66. Some will look at the steps, and you know me, I'm quite the critic when it comes to these coins. This one right here, I would say, is close to not being full steps. But however, I will say this. What the pictures look like on the internet and what the coin actually looks like in hand can be two different things. There are a number of things that are obscured that we just don't know or can't see on regular JPEGs or whatever these images are compared to looking at it in hand. So I usually give the benefit of the doubt. Now, there's going to be some pretty egregious nickels that say full steps that are undeserving of that. Okay, more so that's because of weakness of the strike. 66 full steps, again, is a premium registry set coin. Do not invest in these. This one sold for $2,426.70. And we also have a 57. The strikes get progressively better, although the luster is still as muted as the 58. This one right here is 67 full steps, so it is a grade point higher. Again, kind of like telling the story here that these are a little bit easier to find with the full steps and better luster, but still another tough date. Again, this is a registry set acquisition that would bolster a Jefferson nickel registry. This one did sell for $2,700. It does have a little bit of light toning on there as well. Now, talking about a coin that is deserved of the grade is going to be a proof 1939 Jefferson nickel. Now, when was the last time you guys heard me talk about a proof 39? Virtually never, right? It may be one other time in the last like 3-4 years that I've done the Monday Market Report have I ever discussed a 39 proof. However, this one's extra special because it is a reverse of 1938. So it's got the older original reverse design where the steps on Monticello aren't nearly as well struck, not well struck, but well engraved into the working die. Plus, they also have the little bit of a wavy steps, okay? Whereas the reverse of 1940 or whatever that is, has the much more straighter steps on there. They're a lot more cut. Plus, they have the thicker edges on them. This one right here, again, a registry set piece, is probably even a huge collectible and investable piece as well. It's a Proof 68 Plus, which is huge for these because oftentimes you're going to find a lot of Proof 66s of this coin, just based on the virtue of overall crappy looking surfaces. This one does have a little bit of toning that's more cloudy and ethereal than anything I've ever seen. It's also CAC certified, so they saw what they thought was a grade that was commensurate with the coin. This one right here sold for a blistering $11,812.50. And we do have a few Buffalo nickels to talk about, and these are all just really nice 1930s specimens. So Great Collections actually had 5 three-legged buffaloes that they sold. At its lowest, they had a details graded coin. I think it was cleaned. And then at its highest, they had this beauty right here, a Mint State 63. These are always collectible favorites. Even people that aren't into coin collecting have probably heard about this three-legged buffalo. And really, what we have here is a coin with what they call the a braided die. So it's been over-polished, which shows just one leg. You can see a hoof right there. At least there's that. So our ghostly black diamond friend over here, missing one leg. Of course, these are widely counterfeited, and you're going to notice that on these coins, they're going to have the surface kind of like raised little dimples right here under the belly. Some would call this the peeing buffalo, even though this is not really the wee-wee of the thing. It's actually back here. So that's something to keep in mind. That's one of the key diagnostics to a genuine, authentic three-legged buffalo is those that circular kind of like half crescent moon surface anomaly. Again, this is the finest one. The 5 sold, NGC graded, of course, sold for $4,128.75. And how about this 35, which outclassed the three-legged buffalo by a few furlongs. And with a grade as high as a 68, who would have thought that one of the more common dates of buffalo nickels would reach the pricing territory that this one did, which, by the way, ended up selling for $18,970.88. Apparently, Mid-State 68s of a lot of these 1930s buffaloes are white whales, unicorns, Loch Ness Monster, call it any cryptid that you want to call it. They're quite scarce, and more times than not, they're quite unique as well. And that, again, is kind of like one of the big reasons why the Buffalo Nickel series is one of the most beloved, if not more equitable, liquidable. Liquid, is that even a word? I don't even know, but it's one of the more liquid series of U.S. coins to this day. Even if it has no silver. I mean, who really gives a care? But wow, almost $19,000 for this one. And now in the same vein, we have a 34, which again, at first glance, doesn't seem like anything special, but this one right here is a mid-state 67. A little bit tougher date to find in that higher grade, so that, you know, it's also CAC certified, which is a huge bonus for this coin. Again, this is a registry set piece, you know, and some people will look at it and say, yeah, I would buy that if I were into the series and not necessarily a registry set participant. This would be one that I would jump on. This one ended up selling for $8,898.75. And I believe this is the last nickel out of the bunch. We have a 1920D. All right, so this is a great coin. As a mid-state 66, even though it's NGC graded, is hyper relevant for not only a registry set, but for someone who's really into the series. Personality-wise, this is a gorgeous coin. It's got a few kind of like die cracks connecting the feather here to the rim. You can see this one right here going through the top of the Indian. And then it kind of sneaks its way through his forehead and, you know, into Liberty. I mean, it's got all sorts of really cool stuff. I mean, this is a coin that, obviously, if I paid the kind of money that this sold for, I would certainly be staring at this every day till I got tired of it. But this one, Jesus. I mean, would you rather buy a car or buy this thing? That's kind of like the big caveat in all this. Sold for $32,625. I can't stop looking at it because, you know, it's like for that kind of money, you would expect to see just a high grade like 13S Type 2 Buffalo or a 26S. No, we're looking at a 20D, you know, which I'm not going to say it's a rare date by any stretch, but at 32 grand, you better believe it's scarce. All right, so here's the other 1982 coin that is on the list. Now this, ladies and gentlemen, is a coin that you could honestly still find in circulation. If you're on the East Coast, these do pop up on occasion. I've heard a number of people on the message boards and through Facebook that have located these in change. So make sure you're aware of this. 1982. As you can tell, it has no mint mark because that's what it says on the slab label. Yeah, these are supposed to have a P mint mark if they're minted in Philadelphia. Now, there are a number of them, and Philadelphia was notorious of this, for leaving out mint marks on their actual hubs, the actual master hubs that they were engraving to use to produce the dies, the working dies that is. So this one right here, no mint mark, and it's supposed to have a P mint mark, and it's also referred to as the strong strike. So, you know, they also have a weak. It's easier to kind of explain what the weak is, and then you would understand what strong is. But this one right here, on a weak, will have like it looks like a struck through grease. So you'll see like part of the date's a little bit weaker. The motto "In God We Trust" and "Into Liberty" would all show kind of like that struck through grease appearance. But of course, a strong will have everything all well struck. And these coins are, you know, if they're circulated, generally sell for between $100 to $200. But this one, ladies and gentlemen, was intended for a registry set in a mid-state 67 full split bands through PCGS. Sold for $1,492.88. Again, another great kind of chase coin to look for. And I know people don't really like looking through dimes, but this might be a good reason to look through dimes. All right, and we're here to one of my favorite series. Now, there are a few Mercury Dimes that we're going to talk about. How about just a stunningly original 1945 S, and not just any S. This is the Micro Mint Mark S version of this coin. You can see the mint mark is super tiny, so they used a completely different punch for the mint mark on this one, but you can see it's got really pleasing, unoffensive type of toning that I would like. And that's kind of like the big reason why that this one sold for $2,206.12 was the combination of the variety type and the originality all blended together. Really pushed this one to this price level. All right, how about 43, right? Because the stunners keep on happening. Now, when I mean stunning, this is another prototypical high minted Philadelphia coin of the 40s. 43 is not what I consider to be a electrifying date. It's not. It really isn't. This is just a 43. I mean, you could find lesser grades in mint-state condition with full bands for a lot cheaper price. Oftentimes, you can find them for well under $100 if you're just looking for a great example for a typeset. But this one is not that. This is a mint state 68 full split bands. It's a very well, if not hammered strike on both sides of the coin with lots of luster to love. This one ended up selling for $3,771. Just a pure gold of a piece right here. And again, these are coins that people to this day are cherry picking at coin shows, through dealer stock, and even on eBay. Sometimes people just don't know what they have. And then we also have this final dime, which has a really cool, like slightly rotated reverse, a 1920D. All right, so it's a little bit tougher date. This one is also part of the Hallett collection. Between Buffalo Nickels and Mercury Dimes, we could have filled up this entire Monday market report with both types because there was that many coins that sold over $1,000. But this one definitely deserves its time in the light. For its overall appearance, I mean, it really looks like a coin from the 20s. It's got a little bit of rotated reverse. It's from an esteemed collection, an old provenance. This one sold for $9,882.62. By the way, full split bands are quite tough to find for this particular date. And we're going to end it off on a few quarters. How about for the first time in a long time, we have a 1966 Washington quarter as a mint state 67 plus through PCGS. But check that out. It's got a gold QA certification label, which is the modern variant of the CAC label. But boy, this one is a beauty. I mean, 67 plus is a tough grade. And this one has some pretty nice original toning. You look hard enough, you can see little hints of like canary yellow, some pink and magenta in there. I mean, this one is a feast for the eyes. But this one right here, obviously, is a registry set target, and it's sold for $2,531.25. Keep in mind, the reason why that this is quite scarce is they did not make mint sets in 65, 66, or 67. So it's not like you could crack open a mint set during that time period because they only made special mint sets. You can't crack out a mint set during that era because they didn't make any. All right, so these you had to go through and really dig down deep into BU rolls to find them. This one looks like it spent quite a bit of time in an old album. But yeah, $2,500 is a really good sale for this. And then we have a few silvers, kind of a quick little PSA, because a lot of these very plentiful, highly minted silver Washingtons do exist out there. Now, finding one that's as clean as these two examples we're going to talk about, now that's good. That's like half the battle there. 1960D doesn't seem like a great grade or coin or whatever at first glance, but believe it or not, this is a stunning high-grade gem for a registry set, mint state 67 plus through NGC, sold for $2,649.38. Is a coin unlike other, and good luck finding them because they are incredibly rare. And the same for 54D. Again, at first glance, is not a rarity. It's not. This is a coin minted into oblivion, and you could say the same for a lot of the other 1950s Washingtons. This one, however, has the extra bonus of it having that just really decent toning on the obverse. Which really shows its age. It's a coin that wasn't dipped at all. And that's kind of like one of the components that ended up just really piling on a lot of value for this coin. It's a mid-state 67 plus, so it's relevant for a registry set. This one ended up selling for $4,203. Again, make sure you take a look at your old Washington quarters that you have in stock, whether you have them in like albums and stuff, and really see if you could pinpoint some of these ultra original looking coins that otherwise people have generally ignored or dipped for themselves and have stripped away just a boatload of value. People are crazy like that. They want to dip these coins. And they don't care at what cost. And I think that's just silly. But that's going to go ahead and do it for this one, ladies and gentlemen. Would love to hear your pick on your favorite coin from this week's Monday market report. And again, we are going to be live on the live coin Q&A live stream tonight, 5:30 Pacific, 8:30 Eastern, and everybody else in between. You guys know where you stand. Yeah, we have a huge, awesome lineup of coins that we are going to talk about tonight. All thanks to my viewers and the viewers of the live coin Q&A stream. We have a dozen solid coins from viewers that we are going to discuss. Go ahead and come on down, check us out. It's going to be a lot of fun, and it's a fully interactive experience. We get to talk with our peeps on there, folks like you, and, you know, just really dish on the hobby that we love. But I'm your host, Sean, with Blue Ridge Silverhound. That's going to go ahead and wrap it up for this one. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Hit that good old bell. You know what it's for. Coinaholics, we are discovering together each and every single day. Have fun. Have a great week. Don't work so hard. And I will see you on the next coin video. So long, folks.